Ladies and gentlemen, just when we thought Zimbabwean leadership had exhausted every possible method of publicly humiliating an entire nation, Nelson Chamisa rolled out the red carpet and unleashed a truth bomb so heavy it could flatten every Jojo tank from Harare to Hwange. In a fiery post that sizzled across social media faster than a power cut during a heatwave, Chamisa gave us a brutal reminder of just how the nation has fallen. 45 years after the grand dream of independence, 45 birthdays spent singing about freedom, sovereignty, and the sacred land, Zimbabweans are still proudly armed with plastic buckets, hunting down water like a caveman tracking a buffalo. Except the buffalo had the decency to be free and not fenced off by politically connected land barons. Chamisa, with surgical precision, ripped the mask off the charade, declaring that every Jojo tank popping up in the suburbs and ghettos is not a victory of development, but a towering monument to state-sponsored negligence. You see, in normal countries, water tanks are quietly tucked away behind buildings, humming away invisibly because running water is supposed to be a basic human right, not a carnival attraction. In Zimbabwe, however, the mere sight of a borehole pump is treated like the second coming. It's a celebration, a ribbon-cutting ceremony, a press event, and in case you missed the irony, a minister will show up dressed in a designer suit to commission the very borehole that symbolizes their catastrophic failure to build a working country. Meanwhile, beyond the glamorous Jojo tanks gleaming like said ornaments of defeat in the cities, the rural heartlands, the same one the government parades about every election season with fake pledges and grain bags, are still stuck in the dark ages. Open wells and rivers, contaminated and dangerous, are the community tapes of 2025. Residents have to perform daily Olympic stunts to fetch water while dodging crocodiles, cattle, and cholera bacteria. It's such an impressive regression that if Mbuyaneanda were resurrected today, she would probably weep and ask if the colonials ever actually left. Chamisa didn't stop there. With the precision of a man who knows exactly where it hurts, he pointed out the most inconvenient truth of all. The suffering is not accidental. It's not unfortunate. It's not even negligence anymore. It's a business model. The collapse of water infrastructure, the decay of public systems, the deliberate starvation of cities, all of it creates chaos, and in the chaos, a special breed of political vampires thrive. They sell water. They sell solutions to problems they created. They run private water cartels from their government offices, ensuring that the bucket economy keeps spinning while they fatten their offshore accounts. In Zimbabwe, chaos isn't a crisis. It's a commodity. Imagine, Chamisa says, just imagine a Zimbabwe where your tap actually works without a politician needing to commission it first. Imagine a country where dams are designed for people, not for photo opportunities. Imagine lush green cities where smart irrigation systems don't have to be imported from Israel or begged from China because Zimbabwe's own engineers are empowered and working. Imagine a leadership that wakes up in the morning with the radical idea that their job is to serve the people, not to hold them hostage for a bucket of water. Of course, in today's Zimbabwe, imagination has become an extreme sport. A coping mechanism. To dream of a functioning government is to commit an act of silent rebellion. Because, let's be honest, the ruling class has spent decades mastering the dark art of profiting from dysfunction. If a borehole dries up, good, another tender, another emergency procurement, another back-handed bribe disguised as a public-private partnership. If cholera breaks out, even better, foreign aid dollars to steal. Suffering has become the bloodstream of Zimbabwe's political economy, and the longer it flows, the fatter the leeches become. But the people are not fooled. Every time a grandmother stoops to scoop water from a muddy puddle, every time a child misses school to queue at a broken borehole, every time a father carries a bucket home on a pushcart, Zimbabweans are not thinking progress. They are thinking betrayal. They are thinking, how did we get here? And more importantly, when will this end? Chamisa's call is more than a poetic lament. It's a direct challenge to the absurdity we have been forced to normalize. It's a dare to imagine the forbidden. A Zimbabwe where basic services are not luxury privileges reserved for ministers and their mistresses. A Zimbabwe where you don't have to boil brown tap water before daring to brush your teeth. A Zimbabwe where cholera outbreaks are the stuff of history books, not breaking news bulletins. A Zimbabwe where elections are decided by policy debates, not by how many balls you can drill with Chinese kickbacks before the next vote. He reminds us that leadership is supposed to solve problems, not manufacture them. It's supposed to light the way, not douse it in darkness, and then sell you a candle at a 500% markup. Zimbabwe has every resource needed to be a water-rich, agriculturally dynamic, economically vibrant paradise. But it has been cursed with a generation of leaders whose only harvest is chaos and whose only irrigation system is corruption. In the final cry of his post, Chamisa brings it full circle. New leadership can unlock it all. The broken taps, the empty dams, the bone-dry farms, the bucket queues, the cholera-ridden villages, all of it can be washed away, not by rain, not by a change of heart at the ballot box. It's not about magic, it's about choices. It's about daring to demand better instead of clapping for balls and celebrating new Jojo tanks like we are winning a war we shouldn't even be fighting in the first place. So as you walk past that water tank today, or wait your turn at the community borehole, or wash your hands in a muddy stream, just remember, it's not just bad luck, it's leadership. It's designed that way. It's the product of decisions made by men and women who thrive when you suffer. But also remember, it doesn't have to be like this. It shouldn't be like this. And it won't be like this forever unless we let it. So, ladies and gentlemen, even you in the rural areas, if you are still fetching your water from a river, from a well, unprotected wells, Matsime, you must remember, this is not because you have a privilege. This is not because you are cursed. This is not because it's normal life. This is because you have no leaders. United Arab Emirates in 1971, 9 years before our independence, was a desert, but today it is a paradise. 50 years, 40 years is enough to turn around a country. And ZANU-PF has been at it since 1980 for 45 whole years. And there's nothing to show for it except potholes and a dysfunctioning water system in the cities. This is Zimwaves TV, where we don't pump hope from broken pipes, but instead deliver it straight, fresh, and uncontaminated to your screens. Do not miss our news commentary later this evening. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now. because clean water might be hard to find in Zimbabwe, but at least clean, unfiltered truth is still one click away.